Welcome to Beyond the Games, your daily insight into Guernsey 2023. Proudly sponsored by SG Kleinwort Hambros Bank Limited, Guernsey branch and Jersey branch. Anna Gauvain and her sister Katie Watson were appointed island coaches for Guernsey women's football earlier on this year. Anna told us they've had lots of challenges but also lots of fun in preparing for the Games 2023.
I've been playing since I was very young, and then after getting injured probably 5 or 6 years ago, I got into coaching with Sylvan's Football Club and the boys, so football's been with me since I was very small. So.
There has been a little bit of a disconnect, hasn't there, though, with women's football in the island. There's been a bit of a gap. But the Muratti, earlier on this year, Guernsey women played in that, put up a good defence against Jersey. I know we lost, but we had one goal from a very young player, I believe. Yeah. So we've got some real good prospects coming through by the looks of it.
I know, definitely. I mean, the game in Guernsey, unfortunately, like you say, it's been a bit disconnected. We haven't really seen the rewards of the work that Joe and GFA have done through schools and that. But that's starting to come through now. So we need to make sure that we've got a pathway for those girls, which we're definitely seeing. Part of the Island Games squad, there's 16, 17, 18-year-old girls that have been training with an academy girls set up. So they're used to just playing girls football and they want something to inspire to. So, there has always been women's football training, but, competitive matches and something a little bit more competitive for them, it hasn't been there for a while due to numbers and various reasons. But, we're looking forward. As you said, we played the Muratti. Katie and I took over the role only 4-5 weeks before, but the girls were always there. They were coached by Richard Sutton with the help of Paul Wheatley and Scott Fairbrush. So Scott's kindly agreed to carry on alongside Katie and I with Paul's help as well. So they built the base for us really, and now we're just going to take them that step further and hopefully onwards onto more competitive games and a fixtures schedule if we can.
With all the training that they've got behind them, obviously it's a good base, isn't it? But I guess you learn as much about yourself and the game in a competitive match as you can in training with your own teammates.
And when you're training, you're just against people everybody's level. So those competitive fixtures against people that we don't know brings a new challenge, and it really does raise the bar for the girls to know where they're at, because at the moment they've just been sat in their comfort zones in Guernsey playing against each other. So we took them away to the UK.
Yes, yeah.
We had 3 fixtures over the 2 days. We took the whole squad and we were able to see them get out of their comfort zones, learn about playing against new players. It was a squad environment, so we were able to rotate players, see everybody. It's the short period of time that Katie and I have had, we haven't actually seen everybody playing in a fixture. Yeah. So and we're not too far behind some of those teams in the UK, but we definitely lack games. We've tried to push them fitness wise as well. Match fitness is difficult to get when you're not playing matches. So it was a really good weekend for the squad.
What were the scores like? Was it?
Yeah, so
some of them were difficult matches?
It was a challenge. So the first game we played was against Eastleigh Reserves. We lost 5-1. Unfortunately, we got stuck in traffic and it was all a bit of a rush getting to the game. So, that's what happens on away days. You've got to deal with all sorts. So, it was red hot on a 3G pitch and the girls were just thrown into the match. Obviously, we've spoken about things beforehand, but it was all a bit of a rush. So we didn't start particularly well, but we grew into the game and we scored through Callie, who scored in Muratti, so we know her threat, but there were some really good periods, and we managed to film the game, so we're all watching it back now and taking the positives from that. The second game, then, we had a development match against Eastleigh development players and some of ours. I think it was 4-1, and there were some positive things to take from it. The third game, then, on Sunday, we played against Winchester. Now, for parts of that game, we were definitely a match for Winchester. The game finished 4-2. I think there was a period where it was 3-2 and perhaps could have gone either way. But, for us that weekend, the results really didn't matter, and that was the message to the girls. We wanted to see performances, and we wanted to see them tick off little boxes that targets that we'd set them, and most of those boxes were ticked that weekend, so it was great.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there was improvement and they've almost settled into it, and to be stuck in traffic on a hot day and have to go straight into a match, all those kind of obstacles add further challenges to the game. And as you said, very young players. Callie, you mentioned, scored. Quite a young player, is she? Is she one to watch for the future?
She's definitely one to watch. I believe she's 18. She did have some spells in an academy in Southampton, but this is the first that the Guernsey Island ladies team has seen of her. She played youth football with Rovers in her younger years, but we're really excited to have her. And she is a target player for our team, really, and we know what she can do. Whether she can play match after match for us in the Island Games is probably a different story. We've got, she's lacking game time. She's only come into the fold recently. So we have got other players to come in and perhaps play slightly differently to Callie, but she's a real talented player. The squad has got some experienced players, but it's quite a balance actually between not just that Island Games experience, probably a couple.
There's that balance between experience and the newer, younger players.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be most hungry for success at the Island Games? Do the experienced players have that desire maybe to win back some points and some Island pride, or is it the younger players really wanting to show what they're made of?
It's a really good question. I think that some of the experienced players really want to do well, because we've always kind of perhaps just been there in previous Island Games. We've not won a medal, and all the effort they've put in over the number of years, so I think they deserve some success. The younger girls will help them achieve that. Our aim is to get out of the group. We've got a group of 2 other teams, so if we can get results against both of those, get out of our group and we're into a semi-final, now that's going to be exciting in itself. To come to the 4th or even 3rd or even higher. But we know once we get out of the group there are some really strong teams, so it's how much the girls can push themselves to compete against that competition. I mean, going back to the Muratti, Jersey is one of those teams that are going to be trying to compete for a medal. They may have a slightly different squad for the Island Games than they brought over from Muratti. I know they've got a few players coming back from university, and players that have been in the mainland playing at a higher level, so they're going to step that up again from the Muratti. But the Muratti was 4-1. We've had a little bit more time with the girls now. We've watched Muratti back and we've worked on things, so nobody really scares us, but we know it's a bit of a mountain to climb to achieve a medal so soon, but I'm sure the girls are hungry for some success in the Island Games.
It would be absolutely amazing to get a medal, or as you said, to get out of the group stages. Who do you think of the other 2 opponents? Are you more concerned, or will one be more of a challenge than the other?
We obviously don't know. We don't know what the strengths are of either of the teams. So there's Innismon and Western Isles. Now, Innismon was the last game we played in Jersey. We got a result from that. So I think Innismon and Guernsey are going to be on similar levels in terms of playing. It is a bit of an unknown. The Island Games is really difficult. We talk about strong performance for Guernsey. We don't know if Innismon has the next male Letizia or any,
Yeah.
you know, it's really difficult, and sometimes in games one player can make all the difference. Yeah, I mean, we're starting with Innismon, so that will be the benchmark. If we can get a win there, we'll really push the girls on to then play Western Isles again, unknown really.
Definitely. I mean, in terms of Maya Letizia, obviously she is a Guernsey girl, but she can't play for Guernsey in the Island Games.
I believe that you just need to be a resident in Guernsey. So, you know, we could possibly put the question to her, but, you know, she's got bigger things to look forward to. So we'll let her get on with her matches.
A great inspiration, isn't she?
Katie and I have also been involved in the Girls' Academy for a couple of years now, and they're all asking questions. What do we need to do to play in England? What do we need to do to, you know, get into an academy and things like that? Before that, nobody would have even asked. It would have, and also as us as coaches, and you know, the other clubs that the girls play for in the GFA, we're starting to question now is, okay, what's the next steps for somebody like this player? And you know, she really has set the benchmarks, and you know, we're so pleased for her.
And in terms of then opportunities for the local female players in football, yes, the Island Games. Once that week is out the way, what is next for Guernsey women's football?
There's a start for Katie and I taking over. You know, we're not just here for the Island Games. I hope they still want us to be involved, regardless. And then we'll just look at a fixtures programme. How that looks is yet to be decided, but we're really keen to work with those players that want to inspire to play at a higher level. So it'll be looking at more trips in the UK, over to Jersey as well to gain some match experience. Obviously all of that comes at a cost, so we're going to be talking to people about supporting us in any way they can, whether that's financially or just helping build sort of a women's subcommittee of some sort, because coaching does take up a lot of time, so we need support off the pitch as well, organising travel and things like that. Hopefully with the Island Games, people will show an interest and we can start having these conversations. We just need to keep the girls together training and just look at perhaps a fixture early on, and then keep the momentum going.
Is there enough interest for women's league football to make a return?
Yeah, so I understand last year there was a small league as a base of about 50 players.
Okay.
I mean, they all split into groups. There was a captain of each. So that kept girls in the game for sure. Whether we can do something similar, we need people to help run it, because Katie and I are island coaches. So as much as we're going to help out, we need volunteers to look at running leagues and things like that. Yeah. But, you know, we're looking to get girls coaches or female coaches at clubs, increase the participation there, because that's already set up. And we need people to go and join in, and then we can build a base perhaps with the younger players and go from there really.
So after the Island Games, hopefully some more off-island games, Muratti, May next year, and then actually Orkney. So there's lots to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been a bit of a, you know, mad rush getting in and everything, but probably the best, to be honest, phone in at the deep end and go from there. But after the Island Games we can actually sit down and have some discussions with people about where we want to take it. But yeah, as you say, the focus is July, and then what's next is to be confirmed.
Beyond the Games, proudly sponsored by SG Kleinwort Hambros Bank Limited, Guernsey branch and Jersey branch.